Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Today we're going to be taking a look at Tess Holliday and her claims that she has a restrictive eating disorder. Now, for the sake of monetization, there are certain words that I cannot say in this video, and you will notice that they are abbreviated. If you do have a restrictive eating disorder, I ask that you please do not use these videos as triggers or to justify your restrictive eating disorder. Undereating is just as unhealthy as overeating. Let's take a look at a video from Tess Holliday explaining how she has a restrictive eating disorder, and then we're going to take a look at an article that she wrote. Alright, here she is going to explain her restrictive eating disorder to us.
Hey y'all, please ignore my dirty fucking house in the background, but
Oh my god, look at her dirty fucking house in the background. I am definitely not ignoring this.
I had a little thought that I wanted to share in hopes that maybe one of you guys are scrolling through and you hear what I'm about to say and you're like, damn, I needed to hear that. So I was making myself some food and I had kind of intrusive thought pop in regards to my disordered eating, but then I had a light bulb moment and I was like, damn. There's so many people that question whether or not I have, disordered eating and whether or not I struggle with anorexia, and they like to troll me often, and they're usually like, oh, like you have a hard time feeding your body. And like, obviously anyone that's in, a larger body knows that.
Anyone that's in a larger body? Why do you word it that way? Like you were born into this body and it's completely out of your control.
We hear that all the time, right? So anyway, the thought pops into my head, like, of course I have a hard time feeding my body. I literally have been told my entire life that I don't deserve to feed my body. Like, everyone in my life has always said, are you sure you want to eat that? Don't eat that. Like, it's just constant.
Alright, well, let me give you a little pro tip right here. If everyone around you is always saying, oh, geez, are you sure you want to eat that? Oh boy, are you sure you really want to eat that? You probably don't have a restrictive eating disorder. You probably have an eating disorder on the other side of the spectrum. If you had a restrictive eating disorder, people around you would probably be like, I really wish you would eat that. Will you please finish all the food on your plate? You sure you don't want to eat that? We would all of us really appreciate it if you would please, for the love of God, eat this food.
From the moment that I was plus size, which was, 11.
The moment you got plus size, everybody started telling you to watch what you eat. And in your mind, this translates to, I have a restrictive eating disorder.
Bruh.
So I think it's pretty fucking cool that I am like starting to try and feed my body. And
You're starting to try to feed your body. When did you start? When did you start? If you just started like a week ago, your body is really taking to feeding quite well. It's doing a very good job of feeding itself. It's really
not be hard on myself and like, it's fucking cool. Yeah, people are still gonna call me fat and judge me, but whatever, man. My life's great. Also, hi, if you're seeing this and you haven't eaten today, you should probably go eat.
Alright, so she said a lot of stuff about the restrictive eating disorder that she claims to have, but honestly, I was too distracted by her messy ass house. No, I'm just kidding. But, well, if she has a restrictive eating disorder, then I guess I'm a serial killer because I think about killing people all the time. I haven't actually killed anyone, but I'm always thinking about it. Now let's quickly breeze through an article that Tess Holliday wrote. Tess Holliday, I was as shocked as everyone when I learned I had A. The world needs to understand that eating disorders don't discriminate, and thinking otherwise does a dangerous disservice to people living in larger bodies. Once again, people living in larger bodies. You're phrasing things in a dumb way to try to turn all of our brains to mush. I started using food to cope after my mother was shot when I was 10 years old. Yikes, dude. I remember my aunt gave me a bowl of soup and I put the whole pack of crackers in the soup, little by little, and I remember how it made me feel. I started overeating. Even though I'm from the South, where larger-bodied individuals are more common than in some other parts of the country, my family was critical of what I ate. I started hiding food. As I got older, I struggled with A. I didn't know that's what it was until last year, but for over 10 years I have restricted food. That means I don't eat, or when I do eat, it's very little. Alright folks, this is the new face of restrictive eating disorder. I still struggle with wrapping my head around, how can I be in a fat body and be starving? Stop saying in a fat body. Alright, so according to her, mentally, she has a restrictive eating disorder, just not in practice. She thinks about restricting herself all the time, but then does not. So there you have it, folks. Do I think that Tess Holliday has a restrictive eating disorder? No, I do not. Obsessing over food all the time is also a symptom of binge eating disorder. She may think about restricting herself, but based on the way that she looks, you can tell that she has not restricted herself. The number one symptom of having a restrictive eating disorder is weight loss. If you don't have the weight loss, then you're just restricting in your mind. Anyway, that about does it. Thanks for watching, commenting, liking, and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.